Who's that Pokemon? It's Andrew! Hello, everyone. Welcome to our daily creative challenge. Today is actually Thursday. I brought out all of this stuff because I was going to make a Mean Girls reference and say on Wednesdays we wear pink. But literally during the intro, I was informed that it is indeed Thursday. So on Thursdays, now we wear pink. Hello, Valder. Hello, Denise. Hello from Tennessee. Hi, friends. My name is Andrew Hockrattle. You can call me just Hawk. That's Hoch. A little bit of sign language. I got the alphabet. That's about as far as I go. He doesn't even go here. Yes, thank you. Fantastic. So if you are just joining us, I am your guide and mentor over the next about week and a half. We will be in Adobe Illustrator, and we are understanding basic design principles through the lens of Adobe Illustrator. So if you have not joined us before, go ahead and hop into our daily challenges on Behance. So you can sign up for daily challenges by going to behance.net/challenge/illustrator. And here you can find all the information you need. You can get our starter files for today, which are very important. And then down below, you can also subscribe to get daily updates on there. Now, once you're done, you can upload it to your Behance profile and showcase some of the projects that you have been working on during the daily challenges. Or if you have a Behance profile like this with finished projects, you can definitely send that in our Discord and let us know, and we'll give you some feedback on your Behance page. You can join our Discord at the link that is right up above me. At bit.ly/AI Discord. Go ahead, hop in there, say hello. If you're from the Discord already, drop some donut time emojis. We've been talking a lot about donuts over the last few days, and it's become a little bit of a thing in our Discord. So go ahead and drop some donut emojis in chat. You guys are great. Hello, Valder. Thanks for being so in love with the DDC. Today is a very, very exciting day. So far, to recap everyone, we've talked about an idea called semiotics. And semiotics is basically the understanding of signs and symbols. Today, we will be looking at our starter file. Sorry, let's hop over to our starter file. There we go. Today, we are looking at indexes. And indexes are something that gives information. It's something that informs us. So just like a smoke would indicate a fire, an index is something that gives us information. So think about it this way. Let's actually look up here. So here we have a plate, and a plate would be an icon, right? Because icons look like what they are. So this plate is an icon for a plate. Now, if we add some indexes, it's almost like adding an adjective to where we can say the fast plate, or an action verb, that the plate is moving. Indexes help us take something that's simple and turn it into a complex process. Hello, Jordan, my friends back in Southern California. Jordan is an incredible illustrator, does amazing work. Hello, Jordan, welcome. So we're gonna look at one of my favorite designers over the past years. Yes, Kevin, definitely understanding indexes better. So we're gonna look at an example of an index real quick. Anton Stenkowski has done indexes and really conquered them the best that I've ever seen. His whole thing is that he would explain very complicated and detailed processes using only indexes, right? So he's using only these lines in black and white to show here, I believe he's representing the refraction of light, right? Which is a big abstract concept, but by showing in scale and relation, it's telling us that there's something that's small and it's getting bigger and it's kind of exploding from the center because of the way that all of these are relating to each other. Now, this is my absolute favorite way to explain indexes. In this piece, we are using shape as an index. We are also using color as an index as well. So here's the information that this is telling us. Now, if you could not hear me talking, look at this piece and try to follow along and imagine what process is happening. And we can work through this together. So these lines over here are blue. These lines over here are red. Immediately we can see a difference happening between those two. So maybe we think, okay, maybe the color is an index that's trying to tell us something. Now in the middle, we have this nice red line. Now the lines in the middle, it's a different color, but it's also overlaying these shapes. So maybe that is giving us an index that there's some kind of interaction, that it's sitting on top, that some kind of process is happening. So let's deduce, using our indexes and information, what these shapes being blue could mean. Yes, I see some people talking about it. Water, it could be water. And so maybe it's an icon for water because it looks like water, but the index here might be the blue, right? So the blue tells us that it is cold water, or yes, Kevin, that it is cold air, maybe. So here we have an index, again, that is giving us more information that says, hey, this is cold water here. Something is happening that is a different color that's overlaying, and now it's red. And red, we know, represents hot. Red is an index that tells us something could be hot. So maybe we're looking that we have something cold with the blue index and now something hot with the red index and a stripe in the middle, that this stripe is telling us there is an information happening that it is cold and some kind of process is changing it to hot, right? And so all through visual communication, we can see, yes, Kerwin, that this is actually an ad for, I believe, a water heater company. So we can understand that this process is a complicated process of cold water being heated by some kind of contraption and becoming hot water. And we can understand all of that by visual communication using icons, indexes, and symbols. Pretty cool, right? So now let's get into our lesson for today. Be sure to research Anton Stokowski a little bit more. His work is insane. And yes, you can add arrows to show that it is moving from one way to another. And you're a little bit ahead of me because that's exactly what we are going to do today. So let's go ahead and move into our challenge. I'm gonna read this out for you. And as always, I try to have a little motivational saying on each of these. And with indexes, I want you to tell me a story with this challenge. You don't have to follow exactly what we have in the source file, but I want you to tell me a story. I want you to tell me what you want, what you really, really want. So let's hop in. Using indexes to give information. Here we are going to be using motion lines and indexes to show motion. Create a storyboard using lines and indexes to show how we could animate some elements. We have our ending shot, but we need to figure out how to get there. So if you want to use this source file, that's totally fine. I have ended with a landing shot, but we need to figure out how to get there. You also can create your own storyboard, show me how things are going to move completely from scratch, delete all of this, and make whatever you want. That's the great thing. The thing here is that I want to see your stories. I'll be going through on Discord and trying to tell you what I see, and without talking to you, understand visually what we are trying to communicate. So let's hop in right away. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to construct a complex sentence. So let's say that this is a plate. We're going to start, and I'm going to show you how we can convert a simple thing and convert shapes and semiotics visual communication into something that we can understand. So this is a plate, right? It is an icon because it looks like a plate. So let's get this plate moving and grooving. Let's go ahead and come over here, and we are going to choose the line segment tool. It's right there, and a line segment tool is something that is going to make a line for us. So we can either click that or you can use the backslash. And we're going to come right next to this plate because we want to use the orientation and the distance as an index to tell us that this plate is in motion. So we're just going to click here and we are going to drag out. Now we hold shift while we do this so it stays in a straight line. To put a stroke on this, we're going to come over here to our colors panel. There we go. And we're going to click on this back one. We can double click here and it will bring up our color panel. So we're just going to go ahead and pick black for this. Very, very simple. Oops. Oh, I'm actually just going to grab the black up here because it won't change for me. So there we go. So we have that. And now we're going to go up to window and we are going to choose stroke. So a stroke is whatever is on a line. You can see our stroke panel opened up over here. And what is on a line, right? We've made that line segment, and now we have it as if we've taken a marker and we've followed that line. So as we change this weight, just clicking in here and hitting the up arrow, you can see that we are getting a line and the thickness is changing, right? So let's try this. So now we have a plate and we have a line. We're gonna grab the selection tool by hitting V or clicking up here. And we don't just want this plate to have one motion line. We wanna show that it's really moving. So what we do is we are going to go ahead and click and hold Option. And when we hold Option and drag, it's going to make a copy of this line. So if we keep clicking and dragging to make copies of this, we can start to see that our visual communication is saying, this plate is not just a plate, this is a plate in motion, right? So this is a plate in motion now because these indexes of these simple lines in relation to the plate are telling us this plate is now moving, right? And another thing that we can do here is maybe this plate is, maybe this plate we want to be rotating, right? That it's not in motion, but maybe it is rolling, right? So let's add another adjective here. I'm just gonna move these over. What we're gonna do is we are going to, just like yesterday, click one of these circles. We are going to copy, Command C, and then we're gonna hit Command Shift and V. Command Shift V will paste in place right on top, so we want that to be exactly the same. We're gonna scale this up just a little bit because we wanna give the information that it's not just moving, right? We wanna get more specific, that it is not just moving, that it is rotating, right? So using indexes is like using a thesaurus. The more you use them, the more complex your sentences can get. So let's go ahead and scale this up, hitting S for the scale tool or grabbing the scale tool right here. And we are just going to click and drag on our way out and hold Shift to make sure it stays proportionate. So now we have the shape filled, but we don't want it filled, we want a stroke on it. So I'm gonna come over here to our little color panel. And this little switch arrow, we are going to make it swip swap. And what that does is it's going to take the fill and turn it into a stroke. Now it's a little bit thin, so we're gonna come over here to our weight in our stroke panel and go ahead and make it a bit thicker. There we go, that feels right. And I'm gonna go to my swatches panel and make this black, just so we have some cohesive visual communication. That works. All right, now we have a circle. So now this plate is like moving, but we don't have a direction. It's just like a weird like circle around it that it's like, hey, this is important. We don't want that. We don't want to draw attention to the plate. We want to modify the plate to tell us it's moving. So let's go ahead and let's walk through these options real quick. So with the stroke, which is what we're focusing on today, you can align it to the center, to the outside, or to the line. And that just says align stroke. And you can see here, as we click to the center, it moves it inside the line. And clicking on the outside, it moves it to the outside of the line. Very simple, very easy. But what we're gonna do here is we are going to try to show that it is in motion, that it is indeed rolling. So we have the circle, but with motion, we want to show that there is a point where it starts, and that point is moving, and then that point keeps going around and around. So I'm gonna backblaze again. We are going to put a break in this circle so we can add a arrowhead to show which way it is going. So let's go ahead and select our object, hitting V, and we're selecting the circle. And now we're gonna use the pen tool, but not talk about the pen tool. Pen tool is coming soon. Early next week, we'll talk about the pen tool. So let's grab the pen tool real quick. You can hit P, or you can grab the pen tool right over here. And what you're gonna do is we're just gonna click on this path. And you can see with the pen tool, it adds a little plus, and that plus is gonna add some points. So we're adding points here so that we can then break this shape to show us that it is in motion. So we made these two little points here, and we're going to grab the direct selection tool, the little white one over here, or hit the A button, and we are just going to click between these two anchor points. Now it's selected this area, and we're going to hit delete. So now you can see it's getting a little bit more there, that we have a reference for where it starts, but we don't show that it's rolling yet. We don't show that it has motion. So let's go ahead and click on this. And over here in our stroke panel, we are going to click on the dashed line, right? So the dashed line, it has options right here that you can set, and it basically is designating how much of positive space there is, how much of a break, how much positive space, how much of a break. So this feels a little tight, so we're gonna go ahead and do 5 pixels for the dash right here. Then we're gonna do a 2 pixel break, and then another 5, and then another 2. You can set those at different widths so that it can be a little bit more unique if you like. Actually, this does not look good, so we're gonna go ahead and make it a little bit wider. Yeah, that feels right. And I'm gonna zoom in here so we can see this detail a little bit. So now you can see we have made this dashed line. And again, we did that by selecting the object and clicking on dashed line. This is telling us that it's not just rolling, that now it has momentum, that it's following each of those hits as it goes along, right? But we don't know which way that it's going. So we're gonna come down here and add an arrowhead. Now on this arrowheads menu, if we have an arrowhead on the left, it will put it on the left side. Oh, my head is covering it. Oh, let me move this. Okay. All right, there we go. Now I'm over here. So we can go ahead and click on the arrowheads, and you'll see if we click on this, it will be the arrowhead that points to the left, and it will just add that to show which way it is moving. So arrows are the easiest way to show an index to give information about how it's rotating. So we actually don't want it on this way. We want it to be rotating the other way. So I'm gonna go ahead and take off this arrowhead and put one on the other side. Let's see, let's do a fun one. I like this one a lot. It's a little big, so we can go to the scale here, and I'm gonna take this down to 60. There we go. And the alignment can either align so that the point of the arrow fits right at the end of the path, or that it extends past the end of the path, which is actually what we want in this case, right? So now we have followed all of these steps. And now we show that we move these motion lines right back over. And now we can show that this is not just a plate. This is not just a plate in motion. This is a plate rotating in motion, right? So we are basically building our sentence and starting to make this story more and more complex, right? And yes, if there's nothing on the plate, we can still understand that it is spinning because this index of the arrow is giving us that information. So your challenge for today is to take these elements or any other elements that you wanted to work with and tell me a story. Show me how something moves. Show me a scene, and I will try to decipher what that is and figure out how you're visually communicating. Now remember, using indexes, you can use arrowheads, you can use motion lines, you can show that maybe I want this hamburger to be moving in a certain direction by, again, using the pen tool, starting your point, making a line, or using the line segment tool over here. And then we are going to make that into a stroke. Put that stroke with a little bit of weight on it. We are going to add an arrowhead to that as well right down here. Just a little recap. And now we know that this hamburger should be moving to the right. So I want you to either grab some elements on stock, use these elements here, and I want you to understand how to communicate using indexes. Now, something that you can do besides motion lines, besides arrows, is work with things like color. So, right, I've added ice cubes to this, and these ice cubes tell us that this drink is cold, right? We know that they're ice cubes because they are shaped like ice cubes, which is an icon, but the index of blue is giving us information that it's cold. Now watch this. I'm going to completely change your experience in this sentence. Instead of this being an ice cold soda, these ice cubes now are going to become, marshmallows. So in the easy change of one color, that index is telling us a completely different story. Something else that we could add to this is we could even grab the brush tool and add some simple lines that are coming up off of here to show steam, right? This is what we would think steam would look like. And these are, again, indexes that are telling us that now this is a hot drink, right? But without these indexes and using color, we turn these back to blue, and now it's a cold drink, it's a soda. So be very, very conscious of the colors you're using, of the motion lines you're using, of the indexes you're using to give information. Now, I am super, super excited because some of y'all worked ahead. And I want to point out very specifically Kevin. Now, Kevin has been doing amazing work on each of these daily challenges, absolutely love. And he did a great job at showing what this could look like in motion. See how he's used his indexes to show each of those lines starting in one way and moving to the right and moving down. And then he shows the plate, and the plate is a little bit off, but we see, okay, it is moving down, right? So this is moving in motion. And now we have a hamburger that is moving onto the plate and rotating while it moves onto the plate, right? He hasn't told me any of this. I haven't heard it from his mouth. I am just seeing it and being able to decipher it because of indexes, right? This is the same exact principle with things like hieroglyphics that were thousands and thousands of years ago. We can still understand because visual communication is so powerful. And we were talking, I think, with Voxan, who is hard of hearing, and said it's so important for visual communication because now she can have a similar experience. She can understand these stories without hearing them. So design really is a universal language, and icons, indexes, and symbols help everyone understand the same story. So we have the hamburger moving in and rotating. Then some of these utensils are coming up on the side. All right, and then here it looks like the napkin is swibbity swooping onto the plate and the drink is coming in. And I know that this isn't just a move because instead of being a straight line that is just moving, we have a little curl. And so instead of being a movement, it becomes a swibbity swoove, as I like to say. It just has a little bit more dynamicness to it because of that index telling us that it moves differently. So check this out. He went, did mega extra credit, and animated this for us. So let's go ahead and take a look. So we tried to decipher it by looking at indexes, and this is exactly what we had described, right? There's a little swibbity swoop on the napkin, and then an extra little spin for fun. So going back to the storyboard again, showed exactly all those things, and I was able to exactly communicate to you audibly what I understood visually. So if you have any questions, hop into our Discord. Again, the link to our Discord is bit.ly/AI Discord. And I want to see you doing these daily challenges. Now, if you have a friend who's in the XD channel or is really good at XD, send them your file and have them animate it just like that one was done in XD and it was animated very simply. Send them your file, don't tell them what you want them to do, and see if they can animate it using your visual communication. Hop into the Discord for XD, raid what they're doing, and try to see if you can make a new friend that is gonna help you animate these, only communicating visually, right? Kind of fun. So I'm super excited. Thank you so much for hanging out. My name's Andrew Hockruddle again, and I will see you tomorrow as we build a logo in Adobe Illustrator. See you then, bye.